Max Holloway was once considered the GOAT of the UFC featherweight division when he was beating people left, right, and center.
And Max Holloway, always a big fan favorite, probably the greatest featherweight of all time.
But then he fell down the GOAT list after losing to Alex Volkanovski not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Now you can see when Alex has fought anyone bar Holloway that the level difference is just too much.
The tides have shifted once again, with Volkanovski's son seemingly setting after back-to-back defeats, but Holloway roaring back to life, stronger, smarter, and more powerful than ever. Is the blessed one gearing up for the most epic comeback in MMA history? And are his best days yet to come? The signs are all there, so let's get the ball rolling. Max Holloway's style has always been about hitting opponents while evading their strikes. In his early days, he combined this strategy with a raw, youthful aggression, which sometimes made him both a battering ram and a punching bag. Although Holloway always used his long reach and adaptability to control the fight, his undying drive to dominate often left him taking more hits than he'd like. From 2014 to 2018, Holloway's forward-pressing style earned him 13 straight wins, particularly against Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar, and Brian Ortega. But when he faced a step up in competition in the form of Dustin Poirier and Alex Volkanovski, his refusal to play defense cost him big time. Against Poirier, Holloway was left bruised and battered. Against Volkanovski, he fought 2 close fights, but was completely outclassed in the third one. Suddenly, Holloway fell down the pecking order, with some even claiming that he was past his prime, even though he hadn't even hit the 30-year mark. Despite the setbacks, Holloway remained a serial contender slayer, demolishing fighters like Calvin Kattar and Yair Rodriguez in non-title bouts. However, after his third loss to Volkanovski, he took a step back to scrutinize what went wrong, and there was only one answer. He had to dial back his aggression and fight smart. He did exactly that when he fought Arnold Allen in 2023. Throughout their 5-round war, Holloway fought not just patiently but also tactically, building his momentum around his jab. He'd deliver quick 2 to 3 punch combos and then pivot away swiftly. His kicks and spinning strikes were on point, and he countered every time Allen pressed forward. Allen's aggression outpaced Holloway's, but the former champ's combos were shorter and more calculated. He employed a hit-and-move strategy, often fighting from his back foot and ultimately countering his way to a decision win. Allen was blindsided, having prepped for the old and reckless Holloway. Instead, he faced Holloway 2.0, a revamped version who fought like a chess grandmaster. Here's what Allen said after the fight. This new sort of Max, whatever it is, 5.0 or 2.0, whatever adjustments he's made, he seemed to make in the fight we fought. Obviously, we had so much footage, so much tape on him, and then he just seemed to flip the script and come with this new style that every time he fights, he's got better at it. Holloway's 3-time opponent Volkanovski also noticed the same changes.
I think he used to be more hittable back in the day. Like he used to just purely, like he was always very, very high level, really good at setting up traps, but willing to be in front of you and eat some while he's doing so. Now, he's got a lot more angles.
Not only did Holloway's new strategy shine against Allen, but it also proved effective against Chan Sung Jung in the summer of 2023. While the Korean zombie charged forward with wild abandon, Holloway stayed cool under fire, using precise jabs, quick 2-punch combos, and slick lateral movement to frustrate the UFC veteran. Max waited patiently, softening up TKZ for 2 rounds. When Zombie finally lunged for the finish, Holloway countered with a devastating right hand that dropped him like a rag doll. It was a flawless knockout and a chilling response to anyone who ever doubted Holloway's power, including his opponent.
Doesn't have punching power, but I have punching power. I can beat him.
That night in Singapore, Holloway unveiled a new weapon, the looping power punch, a knockout blow so explosive that it sent one of the sturdiest chins in the sport cracking like glass. Holloway continued to show improvements in his very next bout. A few months after battling out the zombie apocalypse, Holloway found himself in the BMF title fight against the symbolic title holder Justin Gaethje at UFC 300. The champ was the favorite, with Holloway being pegged as the underdog due to his past struggles at lightweight and Gaethje's recent highlight reel knockouts, including a head kick finish of Dustin Poirier. Many doubted Holloway's size and feared Gaethje's counter-punching power would be too much for him. But Holloway showed up, not just to fight, but to make a statement in his second lightweight outing. Holloway delivered a masterclass, expertly using his jab, combos, and lateral movement to frustrate Gaethje and dismantle his counter-attacking strategy. The former featherweight champ even shattered Gaethje's nose with a spinning back kick late in the first round. Holloway refused to engage in a brawl, choosing instead to fight from range, which forced Gaethje to revert to his reckless style from his early days. This played right into Holloway's hands, allowing him to counter with brutal precision and shut down the lightweight legend. With just 10 seconds left, Holloway invited Gaethje for one last exchange in the center of the cage. The two threw bombs in a thrilling final clash, but when the dust settled, Holloway stood victorious with a thunderous knockout. According to Dana, Holloway's knockout was the ultimate holy shit moment in the UFC.
That was the ultimate holy shit moment of all time. If you were at home.
And according to Joe Rogan, it was the greatest knockout of all time.
I never lost my voice ever in a UFC fight.
Yeah,
but
well,
when you
there's a-
dropped him, it was the first time I ever stood up. I couldn't sit down. I was standing up. I was just like, oh!
I saw you stand up. That's the first time I see
It was just, what?
A few years ago, Max wasn't known for knockouts, but now that he's added that power punch in his already loaded arsenal, he's become a million times more dangerous, and his recent changes and improvements only mean that featherweight champion Ilia Topuria is in for a rude awakening if he dares to underestimate Holloway at UFC 308. Ilia Topuria is a ferocious knockout artist, but his power diminishes significantly if he can't pin his opponent against the cage. With Max Holloway's new emphasis on movement and circling away, he's the perfect counter to Topuria's signature kill shot. The champ hasn't secured a knockout in the middle of the cage and lacks heavy kicks, which means he'll have to push forward and leave his chin open to counters to try and land a big shot. If he fails to do so, then the champ will either have to outstrike Holloway in open space or outgrapple him, and it's super tough either way. Holloway excels at controlling the center, attacking and countering with his long reach, which gives him an advantage in open space. Even if Topuria lands a clean shot, Holloway's chin is legendary, possibly the toughest in the sport. He can absorb significant damage and keep pushing forward. Plus, Topuria often hesitates to unleash his power shots unless he's sure they'll end the fight, a luxury he might not have against Max. Moreover, Holloway's elite takedown defense makes him a nightmare to bring to the ground. Topuria will need to dig deep to find any cracks in Max's armor. As far as this battle is concerned, I expect Topuria to have moments of ferocity, but ultimately, Holloway's strategy and resilience will likely make it look as effortless as his recent bout against Justin Gaethje. I'm not here to downplay Ilia Topuria's talent, he's a world-class fighter, no doubt. But let's not forget Arnold Allen, Yair Rodriguez, and Brian Ortega were also top-tier talents, and look what happened to them. If Max Holloway brings the same game plan and sharpness that he showed against the Korean Zombie and Justin Gaethje, Topuria might face a similar fate. The Max Holloway that fought Gaethje is a fighter who has truly evolved into perfection. He wields a vast array of striking tools, expertly manages distance, and knows precisely when to counter. Plus, he's added knockout power to his arsenal. Is there anything he can't do anymore? At 32, he's reached the pinnacle of both physical and mental prowess, transitioning from a young contender into a seasoned champion. His first reign was the era of the boy. Now, he's poised to rule with the experience and maturity of a man. And nothing is going to stop him from re-establishing his legacy as the division's GOAT, because the best, as he often says, is blessed. Will Max Holloway reach the pinnacle of MMA once again? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.